So what's going on, guys? It's Captain America. Hope you guys are well, and thank you so much for coming onto the channel. So as always, starting off with the match stats. So this one was actually a very strong game and a very strong performance from the team. We won this in total by 7-2. We had 60% possession overall. We had 20 shots again in total versus 6 from the opposition. Again, the 7-2 scored the 2 goals that were conceded. We didn't have a right back or a goalkeeper in this to make it a complete 11 team, but the right back was at fault for the first goal. And then the last goal happened for them literally the last second, and the way that they were celebrating was as if they won the game. So just do check that out. That actually did make me laugh. Like, man thought like, oh, that celebration was going to be so sick, and then you realize that the score is actually 7-2. But no, as mentioned, overall a very, very strong performance from the boys. We had, up front we had Super and X3, fantastic, up front. Then we had Thiago as a cam who had 3 assists, well played, Thiago. And then in the midfield we had Jez, we also had Khalil, and then Andy, again very strong pressing play from these boys. And then left back we had Neymar, and then the centre back partnership with myself, Captain America, with Kingping. So again, a very strong performance. It would have been good to have a full team and against the full team too. But again, just generally that the style that we played against them was very much like Liverpool, high line, counter pressing as much as we can, having, the opposition having less time on the ball as possible. We were just pouncing on them. They did not have much of an opportunity to do much. And as mentioned, the 2 goals that they scored, the first one was, Touche, a good header, but again, the AI was at fault there. And then the second goal was me and Kingping were literally up front, man. We didn't care. Like, we're winning 7-1. I wanted to score a hat-trick. I scored 2 goals as well, boys. 2 really good corner goals. I wanted to get that hat-trick in as a centre-back, but again, they countered, and the way that man was celebrating was hilarious. So do check that out. It's the last minute of the game. Like, see how his celebration was, and then when it zooms out with like, yeah, it's, by the way, 7-2 the scoreline. So yeah, that did make me laugh. But yeah, again, as mentioned, my rating for the game was 8.6 overall. I did score 2 goals, 2 very strong, corner goals as well. They did have a goalkeeper as a human, so it's always a bit tough with the corners, especially as they tend to bring the goalkeepers out. So it's always hard to see where best it is to do the corners, especially it's so easy for them to get it. So yeah, so I'm glad that I did score 2 goals. Overall I had 4 possessions won, 1 lost with 1 tackle at 100%. So again, a very strong dominating performance from the team. Very pleased with how we were, and very, let's say, strong within all the positions that we were in. So no, GG's, and do enjoy the game. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to talk about, I've seen now that Mane's departed over, to Bayern Munich. I've seen some pics, and his last interview at Liverpool was really cool as well. I did watch that, his interview style and how he was, praising the supporters, and his time with us was legendary. As a player who came in during the first set of, let's say, signings as such for Klopp, or the pivotal signings that led on to the successes overall. He built the foundation at Liverpool, Mane did. And for me, he's an absolute legend. Like Salah, fantastic player, very good in his dribbling skills, and just generally a goal scorer. But I've always rated Mane over him. The play style that he does have, he's so physical, and he's so versatile in like his positions as well. We've seen him play on the left, we've seen him play on the right, we've seen him play as a false 9 and now as a centre forward as such. So he's a versatile player, which I do feel he'll work out well within the Bayern Munich side. Bloody cough, man, still. Within the Bayern Munich side, especially with the players that Bayern Munich have. I think they're going to be a force next year with Mane. I don't think he's going to crumble, especially like the players that Liverpool have sold, such as, let's say, Emre Can. You got Coutinho in that, let's say, limelight, and it's always been a case where, if you do go to another team after Liverpool, they tend not to be as successful. We saw it with the likes of Torres as well. But no, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Mane does settle in within his new club. But again, the play style that he has, I think he's going to fit in so well with Bayern Munich, and I do feel that Bayern Munich's going to do very well in the Champions League next season, alongside the likes of like Liverpool, and even PSG have made some strong signings. But regardless, they've always had a very strong team, and for them not to win a Champions League is just, again, pure banter. So yeah, keep strengthening, but money doesn't do much. Mbappe, Mr. President Mbappe, the one that's puppeteering all of these signings. So no, and just talking about Mane as well, I do feel that the reason, again, it's just my opinion, is he wants to to move to a new, let's say, club. You know, as a challenge, he's been at Liverpool for over 6 years, and of course his contract side of things. You know, money I don't think really matters for this guy. You know, we've seen pictures of him having like broken iPhones. You know, that's been shown, but you know, he hasn't taken a proper holiday as such over these summer periods. You know, right now he's in Senegal, and he's been taking holidays as such. You know, over this summer period, going back home. You know, reinvesting within like the villages or even like in the country itself. You know, he does a lot of like, you know, humanitarian, let's say, work back at his, you know, country, and it's always good to see. So I feel that, you know, the conversation that he had with Klopp was more around, you know, what can I do to, you know, be on a higher salary? If we can't offer it at Liverpool, then I think Klopp was like, yeah, just go to another club, get a higher salary, and of course reinvest what you're doing at a larger scale, you know, back home. And he's you know, he's one of those players that are very down to earth, similar to like, let's say, the likes of like Kante at Chelsea. So, you know, very nice humans overall. So no, it's always good to see, and I'm, you know, glad that, you know, he's moved over to Bayern. Again, it's a new challenge. He's still only around like 30 years old. He's got a couple more years within his belt. I do see him, you know, performing for the next 4 or 5 years, still very strong. So yeah, no, I think that's a really good move for him. So yeah, GG's to Mane, and yeah, I'm gonna miss him, man. Bloody hell, let's see how we do with Nunes. I think it's gonna be a completely new play style. We haven't had a centre forward like completely as a centre forward for a while, but I have mentioned in my previous videos, I was looking at data stats of like Nunes and the positions that he plays. Yes, he is a centre forward, but he was playing more as he was pulling back, like, you know how Liverpool play with their play style, you know, tracking back as a left attacking midfielder. So I think, you know, it's going to be an interesting, I don't know, play style that Liverpool may go for. There might be, you know, pinpointing more crosses because he is a tall player and he has scored many headed goals. So I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what Klopp does conjure up with the play style. If they do change it up, I think they're still going to be going for that high line that they've always gone for. I think, you know, Liverpool's play style now going forward has always gone with that high line. Yeah, trying to capture, you know, for example, any offsides. And again, this is the type of play that we play on this FIFA game, and you'll see it as well. You know, the high line that we're trying to adopt within this team style is very similar to how Liverpool is doing it, because, you know, it's working, and we might as well utilize it in like a FIFA realm as well. So no, I think it's going to be an interesting season next year. And talking about highlines, you know, I love playing Football Manager. For those that are fans of Football Manager, either on the PC or on mobile, you know, I used to play on PC like in the old days, but not on PC, it was on my laptop. And even on the PC itself, like ages ago. But, you know, now with the mobility of like having access to your mobile anywhere and everywhere, so I've downloaded it on my mobile. So I think I bought it from like Football Manager 17, 18, and I've been purchasing it from there on the mobile side of things. So I'm on Football Manager 21 at the moment, because I'm playing as Slough, which is a local, let's say, West London team. And, you know, I wanted to bring, let's say, not a non-existent, but like a very low-ranked club team, a very local team, and bring them over to, let's say, the Premier League, see what I could do, like, you know, going through that route. And, you know, it's now, I'm on 2029 season, and I finally won the Champions League, and I actually thrashed, was it Barcelona in the final 4-1. So it was a very strong performance, and like literally in every position that I have, it's all like these wonder kids or anything like that are very youthful players. And the play style that I've always gone for managerially on these Football Manager games, or even FIFA whenever I've done career mode, was to always purchase like young players and just to nurture them, because you could get like so many seasons out of them. And I love it where, you know, you buy them for like a ridiculously like low fee, or even on a free, for example, and then sell them for like millions. So I've always liked that type of like way of managing. But yeah, if those that play Football Manager, do let me know like your managerial ways, and, you know, the ways that you do it, not even just on Football Manager, but on FIFA career mode as well. Like, do you buy these world star players right away, like Mbappe, for like millions, or do you buy like, you know, someone that's young like Gavi or Pedri, or whoever, you know, wonder kids that I knew within this like AI enabled like you know, was it player creations? Just do let me know your thoughts. I think that's always interesting to know if someone, you know, likes to, you know, nurture the youth and bring up what you know, wonder kids, or just go for like world star players right away. But no, I'm very pleased with like my progression with Football Manager. It's one of those ones when you start doing really well. Like I was getting just results like 1-0, but still those results were just pushing me through, and I won the league as well as the Carabao Cup. I lost in the FA Cup And then I also won the Champions League as well. So it's going to be a really interesting next season, because I'm looking at, strengthening up my striker, because my striker's been with me for like, I think 5 seasons now, and he's like, look, my time, I want to go somewhere else. He's only like 23 years old, but he's been phenomenal for me. Again, just like a regular player, like for AI, just like a wonder kid. So now I think it's going to be interesting to see what I make like in terms of my changes. But my average age is around like 20 years old, my first 11. Like, I don't go for too old. Like, my oldest player that plays in the first 11 is like 24. But yeah, like it's not much. Like, they're very youthful. I just signed this like 15-year-old, like this Denmark 15-year-old. I found him, and I think he was like a 2 million signing, because they were quite stingy. It was, I think, who was he playing for? I can't remember. But his first season with me as a 15-year-old, he played like 16 games first team. I didn't want to get him too much or injured or whatever it is, but he scored like, I think it was like 7 goals or so, and I was still quite happy because he's only 15 and he's doing like, I don't know, Diaz up at Man City or whatnot. So loaned him out to Southampton. He had an okay season, a 6.72 rating as a 16-year-old. I think he played majority of the games for Southampton, but he only scored around, I think, 7 goals again. So I want to see if I want to keep him as a striker or even like a shadow striker, in midfield, or as a cam. So let's see what I do with that. But no, we just wanted to share some Football Manager thoughts with you guys. But yeah, look, going forward now, we're progressing now, with the transfer market now. And again, we were talking about United in one of the videos. And for some reason, I just wanted to choose them again because they're just a banter club. And I'll tell you why they're such a banter club, okay? So Eriksen, for example, has now been rumoured to either go for United or choose between United or Brentford. And it's one of those ones where, if you think about it, Brentford just came from the Championship and they got promoted last season. They done very well, don't get me wrong, last season. Against, like, big teams, they were, like, pushing for some really good results. So it's going to be, interesting to see if they do keep their star players over the summer. And, Eriksen, when he did, not really sign for them, but it was more like a short period that he contractually agreed with them. Unfortunately, he had, like, less of the heart issues, and, he was training at Ajax, and then Brentford, let's say, signed him, and he done fantastic for Brentford to mould in. It was going to be a case where, would Eriksen play well, or wouldn't he? I think it's one of those ones. Would he want to risk himself, like running too strong or too hard, like with a heart issue? So it's good to see him doing very well, and he progressed very well with Brentford. And my personal opinion is he should stay with Brentford. I don't think he'll get the game time depending on the signings that Man United, let's say, make. And of course, we got like the World Cup coming soon as well. So there's so much going around all of these things. I don't even know if Denmark made it into the World Cup. I don't know. I need to check that out, but I don't think they did. I have no idea. So yeah, let's see. And then of course, Ronaldo's also been rumoured, like he's frustrated and unhappy. At United, and it's pure banter as well, especially him being like a club legend who's seen it with Sir Alex Ferguson, the good old times, and now the state that the club's in over like many seasons now. And regardless, they do have a new manager, and I feel that United will keep him for another season. But he's 37 years old, man, and he was their best goal scorer last season, and that says so much about United's youth. Not even a youth, but the players that are playing at United in general. Like, Ronaldo's an oldie, but don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic player. I've always rated him over Messi. But again, like, he's at that age where next season he's going to be 38 years old. And I do see him heading back home, to Portugal after that. I don't see him going to any other club, after Manchester United, apart from, like, back home Portugal. But no, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him next year, or if United will have a fantastic season, or if they're going to be, poor. And, I was looking at ways of how the league will go, because, to be honest with you, I think Tottenham are going to be doing very well. Like, Rabiot, who's from a Juve, he's looking at leaving in general and looking at heading over to the Premier League as one of the suggestions, but in a Champions League team, or whoever's got, let's say, promoted to the Champions League. And I do see Tottenham for some reason purchasing him, because again, they got Conte, who's played with Rabiot for a bit. So I think it's going to be a good move if, depending on where he goes. But I think Tottenham might get that. And the way that I see the league position is, again, no particular order for the first two. I think it's going to be so tough between City and Liverpool. But it's going to be one of those two winning the league. And then I see it for some reason as Arsenal third, and then Tottenham fourth, and then Chelsea fifth. I've got Newcastle as sixth, and then West Ham over that, and then United eighth. But again, I just based it on like what I honestly feel will be the positional you know, standings at the end of next season. And again, just let me know your thoughts on who you feel will be in which ranking at the end of next season. And yeah, well, let's see who wins. I think that'll be a good little prediction. But yeah, guys, I think we're coming to the end of the video now. I've spoken a bit too much. Bloody cough! I need to cough from this illness I've been having. So, no, you know, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, it's a fantastic score, 7-2. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment and all that malarkey. I do appreciate all of, you know, the time that you guys spend on these videos. And yeah, catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.